Okay, okay. I think the volume is much louder. Uh, alright. This is the first Pillow Talk video ever. So there will be a lot of arrows. There will be a lot of background noises. So please bear with me. September 29th, 2022. I just finished the Midnight Library. Total reading time was around 2 days. Literally ate the 280 pages, and right now I felt so jumpy and sleepy at the same time, trying to keep this as short as possible. This is one of those books that you can feel your brain or whatever monster living inside your mind closet swallowing up every single word and also doing so very swiftly. I would definitely have to have this book on my shelf at the most honored place someday. The first words I can think of right now are mind blown and a celebration of the human's ordinary life. Coming into this book, I can see myself in Nora, the main character of this book, right from the first page. While it would be a blessing if I'm reading a rom-com or a superhero book, but as history has shown, and for all of the people that have read this book, I gotta admit, it felt more like a curse. Like the time I saw myself in that main villain in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The self-doubt got really heavy for like half an hour or so. Thought I was going to turn into a monster, wanting to put an end to the world. Coming back to Nora, she's jobless. Her only contact with life, aka her cat, just died. Her brother blamed her and refused to stay in touch. The only part-time job she had was gone too. She felt cornered by this constant sequence of bad events in her life, and oh, I forgot to mention, she's suicidal. Literally, one of the first things being shown of her in this book was how much she wanted to die and how long it was until she actually ended herself. So you can understand why I was so hesitant and afraid of jumping into this book. Would it send me tumbling down even further, or leave me with even more confusion like other works I had similarly related to in the past, or paint this pink tinted word that only reminds me of how dull mine is, or perhaps would it give me some kind of answers, would it bring me something new and make me feel things I thought I no longer could? Well, sitting here 30 minutes after finishing it, I would just save y'all time by saying, yeah, definitely the latter ones. The book left me with so much inspiration, energy, and most unexpected hope. Short as this book has been, I realize I've been made to immerse myself in the story, and whatever now I was feeling at the end, at least some parts of it, find a way to my soul. There are so many thoughts I want to share, but as time is running out, it might be messy as I'm trying my best to not fall asleep. I've said many times before, and it is indeed true, that most often the uncertainty of life is the most scary thing. We as human beings have struggled in so many ways, consciously or unconsciously, preparing ourselves, our lives, so that we can rest assured, safe and sound against whatever life throws at us next. But it's a never-ending part of existence to be exposed to the unknown, and it's an inherent part of each human to never stop worrying. But this book is just otherwise. That uncertainty means possibilities, and with all the possible paths and outcomes one's life can have, there are infinite possibilities to who we can become, how our life can be. Secondly, during the first half of this book, where the author's intentions are still unclear, it might feel like Nora's multiple lives of many other universes were more like a torture for her, to make her dream of having them, to think of all the things that could have happened Should she have acted differently? But as Nora came to understand, we too resisted that all those lives, all those Noras were indeed parts of herself. The Midnight Library was a creation of her mind, and while multiverse can be real, and there are indeed millions of lives happening side by side, it is to understand that it's all within us, that we do have the power, the imagination to become anything we want. But this also doesn't mean that we have to pursue every single kind of experience. The same as we don't have to be a billionaire to know happiness, because sometimes a good meal can make you feel just as much. Or the same with any other kind of feelings, as they are all universal. All you have to do is savor whatever life has to offer you right now. And be grateful. Maybe in another life somewhere, the people you love might not be alive. On the other hand, this also does not mean you can just sit back and do nothing for the rest of your life. At the beginning, Nora was like this. Damn shit, I am like this. Nora broke away from normal paths, never kept a stable job, cause all she wants is freedom. Yet with her life then, she feels even more afraid, more controlled by her own fears, and while the normal life cannot make her happy, the dual life she locked herself in then was just as depressing. And here, the Midnight Library suggests an intriguing plot with a spot-on message. If we only have one life to live, if we realize there are so many better lives that might be happening at this moment, and despite that, this is our life and the only life we should focus on. If we have broken away from others' dreams, from society, expectations, and norms, if we finally arrive at the realization that it really doesn't matter much, all those mundane stuff, so long as we live and are able to enjoy it, why then don't we just try everything we want to do and make the best out of it? At the end, after Nora had lived through so many lives and finally came back to her own life, she still felt elated and so excited for what might be coming her way. Life always has its surprises, and with Nora, there's still those little turns of events that she had never encountered in all of those lives she had gone through. The final pages of the book were filled with so much hopefulness that as sleepy as I am, I want to just immediately jumpstart some projects. Starting my YouTube channel, picking it back up with my tutoring, applying for a totally strange position in a whole new field, start writing for real, and opening myself up for all the potentials my mind could not see yet. I think about the thought mechanism that wired my depression, why it has been so hard to tell myself to think differently, why I've stopped watching self-help videos and reading non-fictions altogether, because I just can't bear how heavy those idealistic materials make me feel, written and created by people that have never felt what I felt. And even with this book that I love so much, it could just be another perspective. Right now, with the story and this well-crafted fictional world just wrap up, all of the emotions are high, and this new perspective is overpowering the long-term destructive mindset. All of this can fade into the background once another one of my panic attacks takes place, or even sooner, just after a deep sleep. This book has gradually untangled so many of my old mindsets, and even if this too might wear off, I should just think, if I know everything just perspective, why not choose the best one to carry? Before this, the relationship I currently hold with myself is extremely ugly. At times I can still smile at my reflections, but mostly I was ashamed of myself. Hate me now for not only all of those failures, but also for treating myself so awfully. And more often, I feel lonely, isolated. There used to be this constant transaction between me and myself. Now it feels like a giant, huge matrix where people are all inhuman creatures, made by computers or some higher beings, and I'm here sitting in a caged black box, trying to find a purpose of existence in a world where there's no one but me alone. Reading the book, however, it was comforting to think that somewhere in so many other universes, there was a version of me who is hustling like crazy, cruising the corporate life smoothly. Also me who's a singer or who creates a startup, a me who moves people and is embraced with unshakable joy, luck, and confidence. It is comforting in thinking that while they all go through the big things, I'm also doing my own big thing in my own way. Enjoy what I'm having right now in front of me and be a tiny bit less lonely. Okay. I think that's it for the first Pillow Talk video. I hope you liked it. So, sleep tight.